Right, so in today's video I'm going to split it into 3 parts. First of all, we're going to look at the core, which is right behind me, and then we're going to take a look at the sorting system and the box loaders. Then finally we're going to see how the bulk system works. And right at the end I'm going to go over how to align the piglins and also some tips and tricks for building in survival. Let's start by taking a look at the top of the farm. So up here we have a box eater, which is inspired by the one by Command Leo. So the way it works is at the top here we dispense a shulker box with loads of gold ingots, and then in the other dispenser we have a lava bucket. When we trigger it, all the gold inside it will spawn as item entities. And then finally we have this bit at the back here, which after a little bit of delay will push it onto the pressure plate. And from the pressure plate you'll see that there's a piston which acts as a falling edge, which means that whenever the gold is gone from here it'll eat another box, which means that there's no clock needed for this farm, so it'll just keep going forever, and the way you turn it off is simply by flicking this lever. Now the next bit is of course the piglins, but I'll come back to this at the end of the video and then I'll show you how to align them all fully. So let's move on to the bit below them. Here we use a honey block to align them partially on this block here and partially on the ice here. So you still get the speed increase of the ice. They can also be picked up by the hopper line here, and then we launch it with this piston arm pulling back a slime block, which launches them all the way along this line of hoppers. And that's it for the core, so let's move on to the sorting system. Firstly, let's look at an individual box loader. These are inspired by Acacia Chan's layout of the hoppers and droppers, then I wired the rest of it. And as we're only using a Bartering Farm, which will have relatively consistent outputs, I'm only detecting the first hopper here, so I'll only start loading the box when the first hopper overflows with items. So that means it can be a bit smaller, but also means that in theory the other 2 hoppers could have more items and be on here but not activated. But I think that's a fine trade-off. And these are of course 6x loaders, so they load at 54,000 items an hour, and they work by detecting signal strength 14 here. When this gets 15, this will turn off, pull up the observer, then we have the repeaters to get the tile tick priority correct, then we break the box and place it with powering this dust here. For the full sorting system here, I've just tiled a bunch of those loaders and assigned filters like this. What you do is you put one item of one you want to sort and 4 blocker items. So I've just got 6. In the real survival world you'd want to rename these to something different. And then in the hopper below that we just have 64 of item and then 4 unstackable items. Well, these don't have to be unstackables, they could also be renamed items, but the items would have to be different to the ones that you've got in the top hopper. And at the corner here we just have a simple thing to launch items over, align them again, and then launch them along this line. Finally at the end I just burn them with some soul fire to reduce the lag of having extra entities. Firstly, none of this bulk is actually mine. This is the bulk designed by the Kronos server, and I know it is a slightly outdated design, but I think it works well enough, so I decided to use this for our farm here. Firstly, we're going to look at the sorting system. So the way this works is by dispensing the box here, and then one item will be taken out. Shortly after, the box will be broken and put in this hopper down here. Then what happens is that item is used to run over some item filters here, and then the box will be assigned to the slice that it goes into. So for example, over here we have a blackstone slice. If the item went in here, and the box would be loaded here, dispensed, the item would go back in, then the box would be broken. It would filter down through this slice all the way down to the UI here. And here we just have some observers with pistons, so that when this chest is emptied, it automatically unlocks it and sends more boxes to the slice. At the top here we also have overflow protections. That means if a slice is full, then any boxes will be dispensed into lava. Now you can of course have this linked up to a hopper line and have some overflow chests, but that's all optional. I just put some lava here for now. And then over here at the side I also also added this reset timer. So this is taken from the latest version of Kronos Bulk, and it basically is just a long delay from one of these slices unlocking, and then it locks all the slices again. And of course you may be wondering where the boxes come from. So I've got this dropper tower here, and that's linked to the output from all of these box loaders in the sorting system. You may have noticed too that I'm not collecting every item that this farm produces. I'm only collecting what I view as the essential items, and the rest are just getting burned. You can of course expand this bulk system by just replicating these slices, and you can also expand this by simply lengthening the line of box loaders. However, you will have to be careful of item momentum running out, so you may have to add more slime extenders to the eye stream. Before we move on to the last section and I show you how to align the piglins, I'd like to ask you to subscribe quickly, as it'd help out a lot, and I'm on the way to 1000 subscribers. We're at 500, so let's see how much we can increase it with this video. So thanks, and let's get right back to section 4. To align the piglins, what you want to do is first of all remove this string here. So I'll trigger that, but that's fine, and then place a fence gate there. This fence gate is only temporary, but we'll use it to help us out. Next you'll want to remove this pressure plate here and the stair, and just move the stair to where the pressure plate was. Now what you can do is get your piglin here. So I just spawned one in and I used the spawn egg, but of course you'll want to get 256. And it's very important that you only get 256 and no more, as otherwise the sorter system will not handle it and it will break the bit at the end there. So make sure you get exactly 256. So now you can remove this glass block here and put a piston behind the stair. Now you can push the piston forwards like that. If we turn on the hitboxes, you'll see that it's lined between the stair and the grindstone. So you can remove the piston, you can place the glass block there and use another piston to push it back in. So as you can see, that's perfectly aligned and they're a little bit on this slab. So now we can remove this fence gate and place back the string and pressure plate up here. And with that done, you're ready to run the system. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Remember to leave a like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.